we started our discussion on the storage
Yeah,
part of AWS. Very
but
so,
bucket and properties.
yeah. So we discussed the first level bird's overview of what are all the AWS storages available, and then what are all the differences between those storages, each and every storage. So we discussed about the three types of storages: block storage, object storage, and then file storage. And I hope we have enough discussion on letting you know the differences between all these things. So in terms of storage, just 5 minutes recall of to make the continuity. So we have discussed about block storage, object storage, and then file share. Under block store, instance store, EBS, and then under object storage, we have S3, Glacier, and under file share, we have Elastic File Share. Here we complete our discussion on practical part of EBS, and we completed all the theoretical part. Here we want to start with S3. Okay, this is what that we planned for today. So S3 stands for the object storage is used for storing audio files, video files, images. In S3 also, I hope we had a discussion on bucket, how to create a bucket and how to upload some file into the bucket. The file, when it is uploaded, the URL will be there. I hope I share the URL to you and verified that you can able to access. Up to this, we discussed. Am I correct?
Yes,
Participants,
Yes, sir.
whether creation of bucket and other stuff we completed, is it?
Yeah, sir. We have
Yeah,
created a
thank you.
bucket, sir.
Okay, thank you. And then here we are going to discuss about these properties. I hope that there are around 13 to 14 plus properties that we need to discuss. So I will list you all those properties first. Okay. The first property is bucket versioning. So let us straight away move on to the account so that it will be easy for you. I'll open my cloud. Every day there is a demand for Gen AI is going up. www. Industries are struggling for right resources. Please make use of this opportunity in a better manner. I am ready to deliver whatever thing that it is needed up to advanced level. Okay, you want to do, if you do the practice along with the hands-on everything, then it is assured they can easily get into any opening very easily. People are struggling for right resources nowadays. So Raman, yes, new. Okay, this is my credentials. D7,
yes.
G4, XL. So this level of security is to protect my account. So this is your S3. Hope you can able to view my screen console. I opened Amazon console.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. So under bucket, I want to create a bucket. So general purpose bucket. So global namespace. Okay. So bucket name. I want to assign a name. So let me assign a small bucket name. Happiest mind 6. Okay. And then you already aware whether you need to copy the settings of any other bucket that it is existing instance that I want to choose this option. That in that bucket, whatever permission has been set in that bucket, it will be applicable to this bucket. I am going to set permission on my own, and therefore I am going to select ACL. ACL stands for Access Control List.
Access control list.
Oh, yeah, good. Bucket owner preferred, and then by default, the public access will be blocked. By default, as I already told, the bucket and the object in the bucket are by default it is private in nature. So here I am unchecking it, block all public access, acknowledge, and the first thing is bucket versioning. So versioning means keeping multiple variants of an object in the same bucket. You can use versioning to preserve, retrieve, and restore every version of object. I will let you know. Now, by default, whatever property that we are going to discuss, bucket versioning, tags, default encryption, and advanced settings like object log. Okay. So it will be by default, it will be disabled. If you want to use it, what you need to pay for it. So now first I am before enabling what happens, after enabling what happens, let me discuss. So just I am creating a bucket without setting any properties. Fail to create bucket. The bucket name already exists. So I may have from happiest minds. Let I go for adding another 6 to make it unique. Yes, the bucket has been successfully created. The first property, bucket version. Okay. So bucket versioning means assume. So today is Monday. There is one file, some demo file or sample file, a text file. Assume to it is a source code, some source code file assume. In our example, I am going to use a demo. There is one line 1. Okay, line 1. Here on Tuesday, I add additional. So there are assumed to be 10 lines of code. Tuesday, I am going to add from 1 to 10. I am going to add some additional 5 lines of coding. What happened? So that updated copy alone will be maintained. If you not enabled bucket versioning by default, so the Monday first 10 lines of file will be overwritten by 1 to 15 lines of code. On Wednesday, again, you added another 16 to another 10 lines of code, 25 instance. You will be having the latest copy. You will be having only one copy and then the latest copy. So if after appending everything, if you feel that you want to move back to the original code, or if you want to move back to the Tuesday's code, okay, what happened? So if you have only one copy, it is not possible. Therefore, if you maintain multiple copy, this is version 1, this change at version 2, this change version 3. Likewise, Thursday you did some, you from 1 to 25, you removed the line 20 to 23, and then you added some new lines 26 to 35. So this is the version 4. Likewise, so at any point of time, if you want to go back, if you maintain multiple copies for each and every modification, at any point of time you can revert back to the needed version. So that is possible if you enable version. If you enable versioning, you can find multiple versions. If you disable the versioning, there will be only one copy. So the bucket versioning is similar to a version control system like Git. You might have aware of this GitHub, a version control system. So it is used to keep track of what are all the changes that made, who made the changes, and for what reason the changes has been done. That's the purpose of this version control system. The same thing is applicable here also. Okay. So let us first do this practice first. Let us first discuss the 2 to 3 things. Later we can move on. The second concept here is tax. So tax is used to track the cost allocation, track the all the resources within the bucket, all the resources in bucket, and then it is used to track the cost associated with the access, cost associated with the bucket. For example, assume so you have some data, okay, some files F1, F2, some common files in your bucket. Here there are three projects: project A, project B, and project C. These are all the pre-projects. The members of the projects are currently assumed to be accessing all these three files. Okay. So the billing for this bucket, it will be normally shown as a common billing. So $100, it is the billing for the month of July is the $100. Likewise, without any split, it will show by default. If I want, what's the cost associated with access by project A members? What is the cost associated with access by project B members? In sense, I want to set this tag. If I set this tag is a key and value pair that you already have. So for example, while we launch our instance, we set tag. So name is equal to name. So Ubuntu server. Likewise, we have set name is key and Ubuntu is value. Likewise, we can also set a tag value to the bucket. Okay. So project colon key is project. Okay. Project name A. Similarly, project name B. Likewise, this is the value. If you set the tag to the bucket, what are all the access made by the corresponding project member? For example, in this example, so the total cost $100, out of which $50 is consumed by project A member, $30 is consumed by project. Likewise, it will be under the billing tag, it will provide us the needed details. That's the use of tax. Okay, that is the use of tax. If not, the cost will be only single cost only. Okay, it won't aggregate based upon that particular project. So it will be a single cost. This is the second property. First property is bucket versioning, and second property, so attribute based access control in this tag. You can use tags to track the storage cost, organize general purpose bucket, and specify permission for a general purpose bucket. Okay. So this is all about tags. Okay, I will let you know. The third property, let me go through some 3 to 4 theoretical discussion and then start doing practical. Default encryption. It comes under the security. Anyone know what is encryption? Anyone know what is encryption? Please make a note.
Sir, can I?
Yeah, please, welcome.
Sir, encryption is a process of converting a normal text into a machine readable text, sir, like human readable to a machine readable, sir.
Yeah, so very good sharing. So it is a process of converting a human readable into an unintelligible format. That is the correct answer. Okay. So not machine readable, it is unintelligent format. If you convert into machine
Yes.
readable, that is a machine language. Okay. So I will let
Okay,
you know. So I will give you very good explanation. So I will give you 1 minute of time. Please make the note of these two properties. I will go with encryption. So here I can, so because I need some space to let you know what is encryption. That's the reason. Participants, kindly note down. So very, with respect to our requirement on GenAI, this S3 storage is similarly Azure storage, blob storage. These are all the two storages, which is very much needed. Knowledge. Okay. So now, what is encryption, which comes under the security part of S3. The third property is encryption, comes under the security part. So when you upload some file into the bucket, let me assume this is your bucket, or assume it may be a bucket, or it may be a elastic block store, a hard disk. When a user Raman is uploading some file, assume that it is some secret file. It is your file. Okay. So assume it contains some details like attack. Okay, attack. So this is the file which is assumed to be some secret file which is uploaded into the bucket. If the file is uploaded as it is, assume some hacker tried to penetrate into the bucket and capture the information if it is stored in form of a raw format. Instead of that, in order to protect your data, we need to go for a concept called encryption. So encryption is a process. Whenever user Raman is going to upload, so here from his laptop, he is going to upload that file. Either this encryption can be applied on this laptop, or here in the bucket where it is going to be applied. Here also it can be applied. So what it does, Raman will generate this original message, which is M. It is assumed to be this original message. M is the message attack. This message is subjected to one algorithm called encryption algorithm. This encryption algorithm will have a key. So the message as an input, and then it produces an output called ciphertext as an output, which is an unintelligible format. Okay, the original message in this example, attack, has been converted into DWWD and DWW, DF1 using some basic techniques. Okay, in this example, I will let you know. This we call it a ciphertext. So if a hacker captures this data, so the original data before encryption is attacked, and then after encryption is if a hacker captures this data, it won't give any sense to it. Because so it needs to know two things: one, the key, and the encryption algorithm used. What the thing the hacker need to know. So this is the way. After converting into the ciphertext, the data will be stored on either to this bucket, in this example to the bucket, or we can also use EBS, or we can use RDS, relational data store. Everywhere that I can store. The hacker doesn't have any sense when this data has been stored. This is the process called encryption, converting the plain text original message into an unintelligible format called as ciphertext using some algorithms and key. With respect to number of keys, these keys, based upon that keys, we can categorize this algorithm into public key crypto system. We call this as a cryptography. Public key crypto systems, a public key cryptography, otherwise called as asymmetric cryptography. Then second, symmetric or a secret key cryptography. Secret key cryptography. So this public key cryptography uses two keys. One is one key public and another key private key. The public key is made public. For example, here for Raman, there are two keys, public key of Raman and private key of Raman. Okay, it uses two keys to perform encryption and decryption. It is a huge task. So we no need to go in depth to this process. Just an overview I am going to give. It uses two keys, public key and private key. So here, when encryption is performed by the public key, for example, encryption is performed by the public key, and the corresponding decryption will be performed by the private key alone. Okay, then only the ciphertext will give the back original message. Similarly, vice versa. Using these two keys, encryption and decryption will happen. Whereas in case of symmetric key, both encryption will be done for the original message, which produces ciphertext, and then the ciphertext will be transmitted in the medium, and at the side receiver side, decryption will be done by the same key, and then it will ciphertext, it will give back the original message. This is the process. In order to read and write, that particular user should know the key. He should possess that key. Okay. So the advantage here is the data will be in a secured manner. It can be protected by the hacker. I hope to this extent is enough for our discussion. Okay. So this process of converting the original message into ciphertext is called as encryption. And at the receiver side, the data is encrypted. If user want to read the data, this ciphertext will be subjected to another algorithm called decryption algorithm. This decryption algorithm also uses keys. As I already told, there are two keys, either a public key cryptography or a symmetric. Assume you have a symmetric, uses the same key, and then the decryption output of the decryption algorithm will produce you the original message. Therefore, if data need to be stored on the bucket, the data in Raman's laptop may be subjected to encryption, the encryption of the original message, and then the ciphertext alone can be stored on the bucket. That is one way. If encryption of the original file happens on the Raman's laptop, it is called as client-side encryption, CSE, client-side encryption. On the other hand, the Raman directly from its laptop directly upload the file here. Encryption of that message, original message file, assume the file happens here, and ciphertext will be stored on the bucket. Okay, if encryption happens on the bucket side, it is called as server side encryption. Okay, server side encryption. If encryption happens on the Raman's laptop and ciphertext alone has been stored in client-side encryption. So this is the basic concept associated with how you can securely store the data in a bucket, protecting some secret information from attacks from hackers. Is it clear, guys? To some extent? If I want to go in depth, I need minimum 15-20 minutes of discussion. If you are interested, I am ready to let you know. If you feel that it is enough, that's good.
No need explanation. Okay.
That is enough, is it?
You said you can explain 20 more minutes, like.
Yeah, you need
detail.
explanation.
Yeah.
Okay, you just make a note of this.
Yeah.
You first make a note of this first part. How using this public key and how using secret key, I will let you know. What are all the other things normally we need to take into consideration? Normally, we took this session in depth for a service called KMS, Key Management Services in AWS. So in our generative AI courses also, we will be focused more on security perspective, guardrails, and how to ensure security. These are all advanced topics. So I am learning every day. So for my organizations, since we are planning and we have already started conducting training we plan to complete training for 5,000 members for in GenAI alone with different roles, developer role, tester role, data engineering role, cloud engineer. So, which is my responsibility to frame the curriculum, to arrange for the trainers, to train trainers under me, along with me. So each and every day, being it is a corporate, so with the experience of 5 to 15 years, so we devise curriculum accordingly. So I am planning to incorporate all those things for you. Whether you believe or not, I am gathered and still gathering the knowledge from 4 to 5 corporate training institutes in India and across India. Each institute minimum they are charging 50,000 to 70,000. Being my company is sponsoring on behalf of me, So it's not a problem for me to pay that amount. Okay. So also because it is a train the trainer model. So based upon the knowledge that I am gathering from those trainers by investing 50 to 70,000 per trainer cost, I can able to save the cost to my company. If I can deliver to 1,000 employees, total investment companies invest in me is around 2 lakhs. So if I train to 1,000 employees, so all those employees will acquire the needed skills. If the employees directly want to be trained by this XYZ corporate, at least they will charge not less than, for a group of 25, the charge will be not less than 7 to 8 lakhs. Similarly, if it is 1,000 employee as in, we need to invest in terms of crores. So this is the logic of it. So I am ready to deliver anything as whatever thing I know. It all depends upon how you are grasping and how, based upon your interest. I assure the knowledge that you are going to acquire in the next 45 to 50 hours, it will be not less than 2.5 lakhs if you want to acquire that knowledge, you want to spend that much of money. Please make use of it in a better time. So now hope there is no doubt apart from you. Okay, now this is if you want to, this comes under the concept of cryptography. This comes under the concept of cryptography. Which is under network security. So if you are familiar with, if you are a computer science associated students, you may have a paper called cryptography network security. Under network security, the concept of cryptography is encryption and decryption. So here, you know what's the difference between a server-side encryption and a client-side encryption. Okay. So with respect to how this using this key, this security can be done, I will let you know. Now, if you want to ensure security to your data, if you want to store your data securely, assume there are 4 members associated with the communication. One is Ram, another guy is John, and third one is Prabhu, and fourth one, Kalyan. If Ram want to communicate with John or Prabhu or Kalyan securely, Ram want to ensure 3 things. One is sender authentication. Sender authentication. Second one, data confidentiality. Third one, data integrity. So these are all the 3 things Ram want to ensure. If the communication want to be a secured communication, that communication should possess the following 3 properties. The sender of the communication need to be authenticated as a legitimate sender. And no other person should pretend as a sender. Via sender's credentials can able to send some wrong information. That need to be ensured here. The data confidentiality is a property by which, so to whom Raman send information to John in sense, apart from John, no other person can able to view the particular data. It should be visible only to John, not to others. Similarly, data integrity is another property. For example, Raman send a message. Okay. So Raman, the original message Raman sends here is, so give $100 to Satish. So Prabhu, this is the original message. Intermittently, the message will be transmitted in the medium, and then as it is, the message will be sent. As of the message has been sent, it need to be received by John. Apart from John, Prabhu or Kalyan shouldn't able to access that message. This is my requirement. So what happens if a hacker intermediately do some alteration? So from $100 original message, hacker added 2 zeros, $10,000. So now I need to ensure this property. How I can ensure this property? Sender authentication and data confidentiality can be ensured by using this concept of cryptography. This data integrity is ensured by using the concept of hash functions. Our focus will be on cryptography. As I already told, there are two types of cryptography based upon that keys. One is public key cryptography. Another one, secret key cryptography. So in public key cryptography, as I already told, there are two keys. One is public key, another one is private key. So the public key is mentioned by KU. For every user, there will be two keys. For Raman, there will be one public key of Raman. Similarly, there will be private key of Ram. Similarly, for John, public key of John, and John will have private key of John. Likewise, every user will have public key of Prabhu and then private key of Prabhu. Likewise, every user will maintain two keys. The public key of the user is made public. Everyone aware of the public key of the concerned person. The private key alone is kept secret. The user alone will know the private key. So here, the first property authentication. Ram want to be when Ram send a message, give $100. I want to ensure that message when received by John, John need assurance that it is sent by original Ram. So how it can be ensured by ensuring a property called sender authentication. Similarly, when a message is received by the John, the message apart from John, no other people should be able to view the message. That property is called as data confidentiality, ensuring that only the intended person to whom the message has been sent, he alone should be able to view the message. Apart from others should not allow to access the message. And then the third property, data integrity, ensures that the message which is sent by the sender Raman is assumed to be received by the John without any intermediate modifications. As if sent by the sender side, John received the message, ensuring that property is called data integrity. So let me discuss about how to authenticate and how to confidentiality. The message, first thing, as I already told, it is subjected to encryption. Encryption using Ram want to send to John. So every user will know every other user's public key. Okay. The message is encrypted. First thing, let me go with the message is encrypted using private key of Ram. Ram alone knows the private key. Okay, the message is encrypted using private. Then it will create a ciphertext, and ciphertext will be transmitted. Here at the receiving side, it will be decrypted by the public key of John. The ciphertext, when it is decrypted by the public key of John, it will give back the original message. So here, the John can have a assurance that the message, when it is decrypted by the public key of John, public key of Ram, it is not John, public key of Ram. If and only if there's a relationship between encryption and decryption. If encryption happens using public key, it can be decrypted only by its associated private key. Similarly, if encryption happens using the private key, it can be decrypted again by using the corresponding public key. That such a relationship between a public key and private key will be established. Okay, the algorithm itself will establish this relationship. Therefore, when information is encrypted by the sender's private key, who know the private key? Apart from Ram, no other knows the private key. When it is decrypted by the corresponding public key of the sender, when it gives back the message, it ensures that the message is sent by the sender. Because Raman alone knows his private key. Apart from Raman, no other person knows the private key. So when it is decrypted and when we receive the original message, then John can ensure sender authentication. It is Ram who shared the information. Okay, this is point number one. And then the second way, if the encryption, Raman knows the public key of John. If encryption happens by public key of John, the original message, convert to ciphertext, and it will be transmitted. The decryption can be done by the private key of John. The ciphertext will give back the original message to the John. Once again, this property of encryption happens using this public key, and decryption happens using John's private key. Ensure which property? Data confidentiality or data integrity? Audience, this is for you. Hope you understand the concept what I am trying to convey here. Are you there with me?
Yes, sir. Can you repeat the question again, sir?
So, communication, if we want to be secure, these three property need to be ensured. That is clear, is it?
Yeah,
you,
sir.
You already know what is cryptography, what is public key cryptography, what is security cryptography. And the secret key, only one key. Now we are explaining the public key. Under public key, the first property. So each user will have two keys, as I mentioned. The public key of a user is made public. The private key will be kept. This example which I have shown, if encryption done by the sender by using its private key, then this will ensure sender authentication. Is it clear? Point number one is clear?
Yeah, sir. Clear.
Yeah.
Then if encryption done by using John's public key, so Raman knows the public key of John. And then who can decrypt? Only John alone can decrypt. Only. Why so? Because the private key is known only to John. If the message is decrypted and then the ciphertext is decrypted and get back some information, means we can ensure apart from John. Whether Prabhu possesses the private key of John? No. Whether Kalyan possesses the private key of John? No. So only John alone knows his private key, and this encryption using the public key of John, and at the receiver side, decryption will ensure property number two, data confidentiality. This is the way by using this public and private key, we can able to ensure authentication and confidentiality. This is what? So imagine instead of John, it can be a S3 or it can be a elastic block store, whatever it can be a EFS. The same thing will happens here also. Here normally what we does, we will be using a symmetric encryption for this purpose. So Raman, from Raman, what Raman does normally upload the file. Raman upload the file. For example, file 1 into the bucket. So when we upload the file into the bucket, in that bucket, encryption will happen using this symmetry key, which is known to Raman. And then the file has been subjected to encryption. It will create a ciphertext. The ciphertext alone will be stored on the bucket. This is for upload. When Raman wants to download to read the file, so the file ciphertext will be taken, and here it will be applied a decryption. Decryption using the symmetry key. The ciphertext will give back the original file. So this key K of S is called as a secret key, is known only to Raman. Known only to Raman. Apart from Raman, no other knows the key. Therefore, using this key, if you enable this property, third property, the property in S3 is default encryption. If you enable this property, then it will ask for, when you upload a file, it will ask for a key. So if you provide that key, that file will be stored in a encrypted format. So the encrypted file, if hacker tries to attack, if any hacker tries to attack the bucket, and even though if you successfully attacked and captured the file will be in an unintelligible format. Hacker couldn't get any information. So this is the advantage of going for this concept of encryption, and this encryption can be done automatically by enabling this property. A single property, we need to invest 30 minutes of time. Hope you understand? Why so? Because in all your rack, in all your GenAI related thing, wherever you store your data, you need to securely store your data. That's why I am giving a little bit more attention towards this discussion.
Yes.
Still, if you have doubt, you can go through some YouTube videos. Okay. So with this base, if you go through the video, it will be easy. So I no need to deviate further. I will give you once again 2-3 minutes of time. Kindly note down. So doing practical is very simple, but understanding the concept alone is difficult. I will give you similar types of explanation discussions on each and everything that we are going to deal with this journey, for which I need additional 10 hours. No problem. So that you can easily able to understand the concept. So now let me do this practical first. All these three first property. The first property that we are discussing. Just a minute, I will have 1 cup of water and be back. Just a minute. So first property, let me start doing this. So in this bucket, now you can find the default encryption, server side encryption. Okay. So likewise, so when you want to enable, so what I need to do, when I want click on edit, there is option server side encryption. Okay. So server side encryption with Amazon S3 managed keys, server side encryption with AWS managed keys. Okay. So when you choose this option, choose from your, if you have created a key, it will ask for the key. And then if you have created the key, that key will be listed. So this is the key which I created. So when I select that key, automatically this key, I need to maintain my key in my bucket. Okay, I need to maintain my key in the laptop. So using this key, when I click on save changes, whatever that I upload, that will be in an encrypted format. So when I want to access, it will ask for the key. I want to give the key, then only I can able to access the file. This is the way by which this encryption happens here. Okay. So there are multiple things. Just you need to aware what is server side encryption. Either the key can be created by us or the key will be provided by AWS. For S3, AWS will be having one key. For it is common to our account. You can use this key, server side encryption with Amazon managed key. So there is one service called KMS, Key Management Service, using which we can generate our own key. You can use that key also. Okay, AWS Management Service, it is the client generates the key and uses key to perform this encryption. Okay, so this is what with respect to encryption. And then the first property, bucket versioning. So in that bucket, let I go for a bucket for this property. If the bucket versioning by default it is disabled. So let I create one sample file. Okay, create one sample file. So in this example, let I have line 1. Okay, let I have a line 1. Let I save the file. Some demo 1 is the file 1. In the desktop, let I keep a copy in my desktop. So now let I upload this file under bucket versioning without editing the bucket versioning. Without editing the bucket versioning, I am going to upload this file. Okay, how I can upload? So click on upload into the bucket. So the file, add a file. Under desktop, there is a file called demo1. Let I add this file with a one line. Okay, it is assumed it is having only one line, demo1. The file has been chosen. Click on the file and upload it. Upload successfully. Close the file. When you click on that file, when you click on the file with open, you can find it is line 1. The file having only line 1. Okay. So now I am adding additional line. So now I am adding additional lines, line 2. Line 3. Now I added two lines. Let I upload this file once again. Let I upload this file once again into the same bucket. Click on upload. Add a file. Once again, demo1. Select the file and upload. So here in this upload, what I am expecting, I have only one file. When I click on this demo.txt, under the version, when you click on the file, now you are under bucket, happiest find 666, and then demo1.txt. When you click on this version, you can find there is no version. This object has no version to display because bucket versioning was not enabled. Okay. When I want to view the file, okay, select the file. Now click on open means it will list two lines, line 1 and line 2, line 3. Earlier it is line 1. This is line 1. This is the updated file. I have only one copy. Okay, it is not maintaining two files. This is to demonstrate the earlier uploaded file. This is the current upload. I will maintain only one file. There is only one file. Okay. So now let I enable the property. Let I enable the property bucket versioning. How to enable? Simply click on edit. And by default, it is suspended. I want to enable it. For enabling, I want to pay for it. Okay, save the changes.
For
Now, after
enabling, sorry, sir. For enabling, we need to take additional storage.
not additional storage. Yeah, definitely. If you maintain multiple copies, then it will be
Need to
more
pay.
storage. Accordingly, we need to pay. For
Okay.
every property that you are going to use, it is payable. Additionally, you want to pay. If you encrypt, you want to pay. If you associate tax, you want to pay. For all the property that we are going to discuss, you need to pay. That's why it is default, every property will be disabled. According to your need, what you need, that alone you can enable and you need to pay. Clear?
Yeah.
Now, let us add additional 2 lines. Line number 4, line number 5. Let me save the file. Already I have a file with line 1, line 2, and line 3. Let me upload this. Go to this object. Under object, upload this. Add a file. Now I want to choose this file, demo. Open. Select the file and click on upload. So now, when I choose this demo.text and click on open, you can find line 1, line 2, line 3, line 4, line 5. And this is the previous. Let I check whether we have all these. So when I click on this demo1.text, let I remove, first of all, let I remove all the things which I opened earlier. There is nothing. Under the version, you can find 2 copies. One is current version, whose size is 38. And this is your previous version. When you click on the previous version and when you click on open, you can find it is line 1, line 2, line 3. When you click on current version and when you click on open, then it is line 1, line 2, line 3. Is it clear? This is your previous version. This is your current version. At any point of time, this multiple version will be maintained. If you do another update, that will be, for example, line 6, line 7. Okay, so this is another update. Once again, when I upload this file, go to this bucket, upload a file. Now I will maintain 3 versions, 3 copies. Demo 1. Select that file. Click on upload. Or there will be 3 copies now. When you click on that file, if you look into the version stack, now you can find the old version, the medium version, and the current version. When you select the current version and open, you can find all the 7 lines will be displayed. This is your previous version. This is your first version. This is how, by using this concept of versioning, you can maintain multiple versions of your files. After your activity has been over, you can disable it. Okay, if you disable, you will be maintaining. Okay, so you don't need to pay for it. If you enable, you want to pay for it. If you disable, you need to pay. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
So here we need to discuss about fail to delete. The delete marker was added to the current version. Previous versions are still retained. Advantage of going for this here is it will give a protection. Okay, it will give a protection even if it is deleted. Using this previous, I can able to restore it. Okay, so this is how you can create a bucket and set the property to the bucket. Similar to, these are all the things that we need to go for. So bucket versioning, similarly tags. Just what I need to add a tag, that's all. For this particular bucket, add a new tag, user defined tag. So now I can set project name It is, for example, project State Bank of India. Similarly, I can add additional tag. The key should be same. Project name. It is ICICI. Similarly, I can add a new tag. So project name. Here it can be Axis Bank. Okay, so now if I assign a user defined track, wherever access coming from the project, so I need to form a project group. The members associated with the project can be created as a group. Under IAM, I can create a group, SBA group, ICICI group. So all the members associated with the SBA will be under that group. All the members associated with ICICI will be under the group. Therefore, any access which comes from that particular project, the cost will be added to the project accordingly. So this is how you can use these tags to track the storage cost. Organize some additional things. Okay, this is the way of using tags. For every tag that you are using, you want to pay for it. For every tag that you are using, you want to pay for it. Clear? This is all about bucket tags. Similarly, we have other properties. So default encryption is what we discussed. Bucket tag is what we have discussed. Bucket versioning we have discussed. So we need to discuss all server access log, cloud trail log, event notification. For event notification, I need to aware, you need to aware of a service called SNS, simple notification service. Transfer acceleration is a content. This is what we need to go for. Okay, whenever you have data file, if you want to train in GenAI model, you want to enable this transfer acceleration. So it uses a concept called content delivery network. And then object lock to prevent the intended or unintended deletion of your file. Object lock, request or page, static or posting. So these are all the things, these are all the properties. Along with that, in terms of this permission, you already aware this block public access at the time of creation and public bucket policy that we need, very much essential. Under management, life cycle rules and replication rules. These are all the topic that we need to discuss. We can continue discuss on the coming session. So since it is time, we can continue discuss. Up to this, is it clear? We have started with the recalling of what we did previously, and then we continue with this properties of bucket. Very, very important and essential topic. That's why I am giving a little bit more focus on this. Whether you went on through the video